Welcome to art class with Mrs. Barnicut. I am so excited to create with you this year. Let's learn and review some things about the art room. When you come to art class, you should walk calmly to the art room with your class. You should never run. It is not a race to get here. Remember to walk quietly even though you're outside. This is where you will line up with your class to come into the art room. You should wait here until Mrs. Barnicut greets you at the door and invites you inside. Then you will come in and walk quietly to your assigned seat. First, let's review the art room rules. A stands for always try your best. R stands for respect everyone and their artwork. And T stands for take care of all materials and clean up. You will have the opportunity to earn art tickets for working hard and being on task. When you get an art ticket, make sure you write your name and class code on the back. Then you can put your ticket in the ticket jar for a chance to win that week's art ticket raffle. Let's talk about table supplies. At your table, you will always have some basic supplies to share with your table group. At cleanup time, you are responsible for cleaning up your table supplies and making sure they look neat for the next class that comes to art. This is not an example of a neat supply box. Nobody else should have to clean up your trash. Here you will find our shared supply table. You'll find dry coloring materials for the class to use. Today we have markers, colored pencils, and crayons. There will be more supplies added throughout the year depending on what we're working on. During work time, you can take supplies to your table to use. At the end of class, make sure you put the supplies back in the right spot. This was not an example of putting the supplies back correctly. Let's make it look better. Over here is the basic supply refill area. You will find replacements to the supplies that are at your table, like pencils, erasers, scissors, and rulers. You will also find a pencil sharpener here to use. The pencil sharpener should not be used when Mrs. Barnicut is teaching so that everyone can hear the directions. If it is a painting day in art, you will need to come to the sink area to get a few special supplies. Before you begin painting, you should have a messy mat that is placed underneath your project to protect your table and artwork. You will also need to get a water cup and a paintbrush, and your paints. Usually you will find water cups with clean water and brushes at the sink. If not, you can fill up your own water cup with water about halfway up. We should only be filling our water cups halfway to help us prevent spills and not waste water. Depending on the paints we are using that day, you may find them on your table or on the counter by the sink. When it's time to clean up from a painting project, you will need to bring your project to the drying rack with your messy mat underneath your artwork. This will help the paint from your project not get on other people's work. You should use the drying rack that is closest to your seat. Then you will need to put your used water cup and paintbrush away. Bring your water cup to the sink and rinse out the water, and then put your paintbrush in the big, dirty brush cup to soak. Sometimes Mrs. Barnicut may ask student helpers to do this job. If you spill at the sink area, make sure to clean up your mess. Now let's go over the front table. Here you will find paper and worksheets that we are using in class. Notice that this box says project paper. The paper here should not be used for free draw and only taken with Mrs. Barnicut's permission. Let's go over the extra art shelf. You can use the supplies on this shelf when you are finished with your assigned project. On the shelf, you will find different types of books. You will also find free draw paper with idea sticks for ideas on what to draw, coloring sheets, but make sure that you only take one at a time, and if you finish one, you can take another one. Whiteboard and whiteboard markers and erasers for drawing, stencils and extra paper to create sculptures with. Remember, when it is cleanup time, the extra art shelf is closed and you cannot get any more supplies from it that day. Over here, you will find the no name artwork box. This is where nameless artwork goes. So sad. Please make sure to always write your name and class code on your work so your creations do not end up in the lonely no name box. Let's talk about using iPads in the art room. You must have Mrs. Barnicot's permission to use the iPads. iPads are used for finding reference images when you need an idea for your projects or for free draw. For example, if we were working on a city project and you want to draw the Eiffel Tower, you could look up a picture of the Eiffel Tower by searching images on Google Chrome. You should never be playing games or searching for things that are not related to art class. When you're done, make sure that you put the iPad away and plug in the charger. iPads are a privilege to use, and if they're not being used properly, Mrs. Barnicot may have to take them away. Over at Mrs. Barnicot's desk, you will see the art timer on the shelf. This will tell you how much time is left for art class. Like for example here, it says about 40 minutes. This is just a reminder that we need to use our time wisely, not a reminder to rush through our work. When the red area becomes smaller, it means that art class will be ending soon. When you hear a beep, that means it is time to clean up. Now it's time to stop working on our artwork and focus on cleaning up. First, we need to put away all the supplies that we took out and double check that your name and class code are on the back of your artwork. Mrs. Barnicot will usually ask someone to help collect the artwork for that day. Remember, if you were painting, you are responsible for putting away your work on the drying rack. To clean our tables, Mrs. Barnicot will assign a table group to be the table cleaners for that day. Each week, a table group will have the table cleaner job. Table cleaners will use these spray bottles filled with soap and water and a towel to clean the tables. You should only be spraying the table surface a few times to clean it. Never leave a puddle of water. And make sure to never spray a person or their artwork. Table cleaning is a privilege, and Mrs. Barnicot is counting on you to do the right thing. When you're done, make sure you put the spray bottle and towel back in the box. Once your table is clean, you should be sitting at your seat, waiting for Mrs. Barnicot to call you to line up. This is where we will line up and walk out of the glass door to exit the building. If you're in front, make sure you stand behind the purple line so we have space to open the door. When you're walking in the hallway, you should be walking quietly and calmly to respect the other classes in the building. We should never be yelling, running, or playing in the hallway. I hope you enjoyed our art room tour. I can't wait to create with you this year.